From the moment Netflix confirmed 50 Cent's documentary on Sean Diddy Combs, the industry shuddered. What sounded like yet another aggressive move by 50 turned into a full-blown threat, and right now, it appears one man might be holding his breath: Jay-Z. Because this isn't a random doc, it's reportedly decades of rumors, footage, and allegations collected over nearly 20 years, finally packaged, edited, and ready to go public. The series title alone, Sean Combs: The Reckoning, doesn't leave much to the imagination. It promises exposure, it promises answers, and for folks close to Diddy, or who've crossed paths with him during his controversial years, it promises a reckoning. The leak, the timing, the pressure. Then came what many believe was not a coincidence: prison footage of Diddy leaked online. In it, he didn't look broken, he looked oddly calm. Walking the corridors of Fort Dix, working the prison library, books, DVDs, inmates asking him questions, smiling, unfazed, almost like he belonged there. The clip blew up. People doubted it. Some joked. Others felt uneasy. And that's when 50 struck. No hesitation. On social media, he mocked the footage, calling Diddy a little too comfortable among all them handsome men. The trolling was harsh, but strategic. Because that clip wasn't just some random leak, it felt like a warning. We know where you are and what you were doing. Suddenly, what once looked like prison drama turned into a prelude. Something big and public was coming. Jay-Z's silence, strategic or suspicious? For weeks, fans and critics replayed old photos and videos, Jay-Z and Diddy together, red carpets, industry parties, out in public, behind closed doors, always a tight pair. But through all the lawsuits, raids, gossip, and media storms, Jay-Z was conspicuously quiet. No denials, no statements, no comment. To outsiders, that could look like wisdom. Don't feed the fire. But 50 Cent recently hinted otherwise. He implied that silence might mean knowledge. Knowledge of more than just friendly encounters. Knowledge of secrets. In 50's own words, Jay's been quiet for a reason. Not necessarily because he's guilty, maybe because he knows what might surface. And that possibility alone has fans worried, because with what 50 presumably has, 2 decades worth of evidence, rumors, possibly tapes or logs, silence could become the loudest sign of all. New legal trouble. 2 active criminal investigations. Right now, it appears one man might be holding his breath: Jay-Z. Here's where things get messier. Beyond civil lawsuits piling up against Diddy, there are now 2 active criminal investigations. One of those cases emerged recently out of Florida. A producer named Jonathan Hay filed a complaint alleging incidents from 2020 and 2021 in Los Angeles. The alleged crimes: serious sexual assault claims involving coercion and abuse under the guise of music business dealings. Because the acts reportedly happened in LA, the case was transferred to California law enforcement, raising the stakes considerably. Suddenly, nothing is off the table, and more than just Diddy's name is at risk. Any name tied to those events, even peripherally, could be pulled in. Every new filing sharpens the risk. With so many overlapping lawsuits and allegations, one credible witness could unravel a decade of silence and secrecy. The informant rumor, and why it matters. One of the most persistent rumors swirling in industry circles is that Diddy once worked as a confidential informant. According to insiders, including a former bodyguard, a man identified as Gene Deal, this may explain why so many past investigations against Diddy reportedly disappeared. They argue, when you have information valuable to law enforcement, the rules change. Agents claiming they didn't even know what house they were raiding until the last second only adds fuel to the fire. That kind of secrecy isn't normal. That kind of silence raises eyebrows. If it's true, it means that Diddy may have leveraged the system for decades, not because he was untouchable by fame, but because he was useful. And if 50's new doc reignites legal interest, that useful badge could flip fast. Which brings us right back to Jay-Z. If Diddy cooperated, before or still cooperates, any conversation, tape, or memory involving a third party is potentially evidence, and that might mean long nights for lawyers, prosecutors, and Jay-Z. Pardon talk, drinking rumors, public fallout. As if things weren't chaotic enough, a strange rumor surfaced. Former President Donald Trump was allegedly considering commuting Diddy's sentence. Some fans questioned, why even consider that? Others argued Diddy has cross-industry reach and influence, but the speculation alone was enough to send shockwaves. Yet, the moment that pardon talk surfaced, word got out that Diddy was allegedly caught drinking inside prison, a serious violation. His camp denied it. They said he was in rehab, sober, and following rules strictly. But with a potential pardon on the line, public perception changed fast. The idea of mercy started to look like a public relations disaster. The scandal suddenly became a race against time. From 50's perspective, the leaked footage plus the rumored pardon equals cheap theaters. He's doubling down publicly. No deals, no shortcuts, no sympathy. What the documentary claims to reveal and why people are scared. Industry insiders close to Netflix say the documentary aims to expose 4 big things. The alleged secret life behind Diddy's public persona. The people, friends, associates, business partners who may have enabled or stayed silent. The names of celebrities, executives, and insiders who allegedly knew more than they ever admitted. And the unanswered questions. Shady contracts, suspicious payments, industry favors that now might be connected. And this is the core of the fear for many in entertainment. Because exposure is binary. Either you were involved or you weren't. But even being near the events may now carry consequences. For someone like Jay-Z, with decades of wealth, fame, and silence, that risk is amplified, not because he's proven guilty, but because association alone could damage his legacy. Public perception versus legal reality. It's complicated. Here's the tricky part. None of this means Jay-Z or other major figures are legally guilty. The allegations remain just that, allegations, speculations, rumors. But in public court, social media, tabloids, fan forums, perception can be as powerful as evidence. Once the documentary drops, people will start asking questions. Old footage could resurface. Uncomfortable truths might get painful exposure. And history shows that even allegations, when plentiful, persistent, and well-packaged, can reshape public opinion forever. So while the legal system demands proof beyond reasonable doubt, public opinion only demands plausibility. The fallout. What happens after release day? When the reckoning goes live, this could ripple across music, entertainment, social media, and people's reputations. Some may come forward with new testimonies. Some might quietly settle lawsuits to avoid exposure. Major players might go silent, disappear from public view, or rebrand entirely. Sponsors, brands, and collaborators might distance themselves from anyone remotely linked. So, in short, the walls around Diddy's world could collapse, and with them, the houses built on fame, power, and secrecy. For Jay-Z, for other artists, for executives, the question becomes not are you guilty, but are you ready for what's about to surface? Final thoughts. Why this isn't just another news drop. This isn't just a criminal case. It isn't just a celebrity scandal. It could be a turning point. For decades, people whispered rumors, people joked about rock stars behaving badly. But this documentary, backed by 50 Cent, backed by evidence, backed by social media pressure, could force secrets into daylight. And when the lights come on, even the biggest names can start to look different. So don't think this is just about Diddy. Think about everyone who walked beside him. Think about who was in the room when deals were made. Think about what people did and what they watched but never spoke about. Because when the reckoning hits,
It's not just a documentary, it's a mirror. It's a reckoning.